An internal report released today found the city of Portland's system for enforcing property maintenance disproportionately affects communities of color and people who live in neighborhoods that are being gentrified. In some cases, homeowners faced fines of close to $200,000 for failing to make minor repairs.
Fox 12's Simon Gutierrez is live in Northeast Portland with a detailed look at that report and the story of a man who nearly lost his house because of this kind of enforcement action. Simon?
Yeah, the report is a lengthy analysis of city policy done by the city's Ombudsman's office. It spells out several cases where homeowners were overwhelmed by a series of recurring fines that all started with a simple citation. For Bruce Cushman, a 10-year ordeal started with a visit from a city inspector.
The neighbors next door were getting ready to sell their house, so there was some things they didn't like.
First, the inspector asked him to remove a disabled car that was under a tarp in the driveway.
2 days later, it's gone. I call him up. He comes back, and then the fun begins.
Cushman says the inspector then told him he needed to paint some trim on the side of his house or face a fine. If he didn't, the fine would double and continue every month until the work was done. 10 years passed, and Cushman found he owed the city a total of $188,000 with a lien placed against his home.
I live on Social Security. I make $927 a month.
Cushman's case turns out to be the tip of a policy iceberg. An internal analysis by the city ombudsman's office found homeowners across Portland owed the city more than $10 million in outstanding enforcement fines. The analysis showed the majority of those complaints made to the Bureau of Development Services were in neighborhoods with a higher percentage of people of color and neighborhoods that were being gentrified.
So I think that this is an example of a program that has churned along decade after decade after decade. And there are people in our community who are really suffering in this system. And so we wanted to bring light to that.
The internal report recommends the city commit to eliminating the disproportionate outcomes with urgency and immediately engage with those communities adversely affected by the property maintenance enforcement system. As for Cushman, the city's Bureau of Development Services reviewed the lien against his home and reduced it to $6,000, which Cushman hopes to eventually settle by completing the necessary repairs.
I bought my house in 1987 for $14,500, and I've had it through 2 wives and 35 years. And I plan on dying here.
In a letter to the city auditor's office, Commissioner Dan Ryan, who oversees the Bureau of Development Services, and that bureau's director said that they agreed with the findings in the report and agreed with the recommendations going forward. They say they are committed to addressing the concerns raised by the analysis. Reporting live in Northeast Portland, Simon Gutierrez, Fox 12 Oregon.